stuck in the matrix and my brain's up for the taking, but we don't do that. I know my facts. They say that he was elected, but where the stats at? They say that jab the only way to get your life back, but if you have a heart attack, then they will go to hide that. Look at the FDA acting like KKK, trying to run all our lives like we they brand new slaves. Lose the job, banned from playing segregation, all the same. They call themselves progressives, but they taking us all back again. Bring the world to darkness and sacrifice the children. Then when it's said and done, then you will never live with hope again. I say that we break the chains, we can't leave the world the same. Make love real again. As we fly above the truth, I ask of God, am I with you? I walk the path, go to the line, but still I feel that. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages from all across the world? You are now tuned in with me. My name is Chandler Crump. It is June 13th, 2022, and today is Monday. It's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means you are now tuned in to the Chandler Brief with yours truly, where the dress code is always business casual. Now, today is our very first day back home in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm so happy. Let's get an applause going. If you guys don't know, if you guys haven't been following me for long, you have no idea who I am. My name is Chandler Crump. I go here live on YouTube every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8, and Mondays and Wednesdays at 4, but up until about 2 weeks ago or so, a few days ago, a lot of days ago, we were on a trip headed out to California for an event we did out there. Got to perform some music, be on some panels. It was a great time. We came back through, swung through Dallas. I got to go on a few Blaze shows, including a very special show with Kyle Rittenhouse, which was a very fun time. But I'm going to keep tight-lipped about that because here on YouTube, they're very tough about what you can and can't talk about. Which brings me to my next point. If you're seeing me live right now, you might be watching me on YouTube. But if you don't or do know, we have 2 YouTube channels. We have now upgraded our software and our capability so that I can now stream to both of my YouTube channels. So you may be watching me on my old channel with 48,000 subscribers or my new channel which has about 1,400. Either one, you can now totally watch us live here on YouTube and even communicate in the chat. So shout out to Roxanne Shante, Miss Millie, Toy Mafia, all of our folks in here. If you're more privy to the 45,000 channel, which is, I guess, how we'll be delineating it from here on out, since that's the best way to talk about it. You may not know what this show is. This is our show we do on Mondays and Wednesdays, where we try to break down the news of the day and really touch base on what's happening in a more quick manner than our normal shows at 8. So if you're interested in that sort of daytime talk show type of vibe where we really burn through the news real quick, then this is the show for you. Otherwise, we'll be back live once again tomorrow on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8, so you can tune in and watch us there. But we have a ton of news we're going to be jumping into, so all pleasantries aside, what's going on? Happy to see everybody. If you're getting in here, make sure you smash the like button. We're so happy to be back on the old channel with 45,000. Make sure you're checking us out on all sorts of our different socials. We're live right now on, and I'm going to try not to mess this up, Rumble, Getter, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, 2 YouTube channels, and I think one more I'm totally forgetting. So it's a big day. I'm very happy. I think we should be able to do this every single day we stream from here on out. So if you're seeing me, give me a nice hi, a hey in the chat. Let's jump into the stories of the day, which is, I know I sound very chipper and happy starting off this intro because I'm very happy to be back. But our first story is not quite as happy, as US stocks have plunged in early trading amid rising inflation. This is a bloodbath. An absolute travesty. I've looked at this deeply, and I can only find one little area that's green within real estate. And it doesn't even, it's such a small company, it doesn't even tell us what it actually is. But man, oh man, is this bad. I don't think I've never seen it this bad. We saw it a few weeks ago when it was like a sea of red with little splotches of green. This is just pure blood. This is just pure blood. It's not good right now. In the stock field, inflation is soaring. And everybody is really concerned. We have an update, actually. U.S. stocks have extended losses. NASDAQ down 4%, S&P down 3%. But as you can see here, here's the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, small cap 2000. I'm no big stock person. I don't understand these things fully. I'm only 17. I'll probably get into that once I'm actually legally able to trade without having to go through like a third party or something. But man, I know for a fact, red is bad, green is good. Sometimes, depending on what you're talking about, and that's really about it. Red is terrible, down whole percentage points for the Dow Jones, but also to put it into further perspective, Just look at the people talking about it. This got 4,900 likes on Twitter and growing, about to hit 5,000. People are concerned. Everybody is talking about it, and everybody is making memes as well. Now, this one isn't unique. We've seen this one before, but they took this image of Biden with the little phone taking the selfie and really put it over the stock pane. And honestly, we saw this a few weeks back when they did this before as well. But oh my gosh, Aaron Behringer says, "In before it starts raining men." I don't even get that reference, but I'm sure it means something. I don't. Honestly, folks, we're all really concerned here. Somebody's saying, "Oh look, it's the Putin market crash." It's everybody's talking about the Putin price hike. It's all Ukraine's fault, but why is it hurting us so much if it's the Putin price hike? Everybody's always talking about, well, it can't be Biden causing the gas prices because he's not the president of the world. Well, neither is Vladimir Putin, right? Inflation is a problem that is started, a long time ago. It's always been a problem within America, but it has soared so terribly since the start of the pandemic. But, Trump did the best he could to tamp it down while dealing with all the different issues and Democrat governors shutting down our country. But now, with our country opening back up and COVID being a memory, why are we still dealing with these terrible problems? Why is our economy and our country still collapsing from beneath us? Well, let's dig in a little bit further with Fox Business, who I trust a little bit to, read it out to me. Stocks sink. S&P enters bear market inflation. Fed meeting this week. Live updates. Dow is cratering at down 875 points. S&P closes in bear territory amid rate hike jitters. This is the thing I actually wanted to show. I wanted to show an actual article about stocks just plummeting. So let me see if I can find. Just look up the word stocks and see what pops up. Obviously, you can see what Google wants me to look at. So CNN, Wall Street Journal, Yahoo Finance, Associated Press, and Reuters, of which half of those I'd have to put in some subscription things. So I'm just going to look at stocks, Fox Business. I want them to give me the rundown, or it's going to give me the Fox stocks. So Fox Business News, because this is big. This is really big. I can't even really put it into perspective like that. So there you go. Or that's actually from 2 days ago. So Dow tumbles 800 points, and that was 2 days ago. Now it's down over 900 points. Inflation, all that madness, gosh, everything is down, and people are concerned. Meanwhile, as stocks are cratering, inflation is skyrocketing, and gas prices are going crazy, this is what Chevron is deciding is worthy of us to be looking at. Check this out. I haven't even watched this fully. I saw the rainbows. It's like, oh, I'm going to react to this live on stream. Sometimes I like to give you guys the just up in your face, up close and personal look at this. So let's just check this out. Obviously, he, him, very important. What? Jeffrey, who is a girl, obviously, clearly in case you couldn't tell by the Adam's apple and chin of almost as sharp as mine. Freedom from prejudice. The human energy company Chevron, which if you said 10 years ago, you'd probably think they are some sort of cannibals, digesting humans and turning them into energy. But no, the human energy company is actually in reference to how human they are with pride. So very proud of their sexual orientations and gender identities. Meanwhile, people are hurting. I posted this, or reposted it, and somebody in my comments was like, I just put $20 on my card at Chevron, charging $5.60 a gallon. Jesus H. Christ, this country is imploding. All I can say was, I'm so sorry. Now, I don't know where gas prices are at $5.60. That might be California, New York. But what I do know is that the national gas average just days ago finally passed $5. In fact, here, national gas average passes $5. Just in case y'all don't believe me, I don't have the article for this one on hand because I didn't expect to touch on it. But there's New York Times. New York Post. They'll give it to me straight. The U.S. gas prices pass $5 a gallon for first time ever as summer demand surges. That's the national gas average, and that's just for regular. For silver, it's $5.45. For ultimate, if you've got a fancy car, that's $5.75. And I don't know where this is, but let's see here. It doesn't tell us where it is. Might be able to use context clues, but $5.15, that's crazy. The average price of regular grade gas has crossed the $5 threshold for the first time ever, after spiking 30 cents in 3 weeks to 5.1 a gallon, according to AAA. Monday marks the 16th consecutive day that fuel prices reached, oh my gosh, Not only is it, breaking records of all time, but it's been breaking records day after day for nearly 16 days straight. And this was, what, 2 days ago? No, this was today. Okay, so this was today when this article was published. While gas prices usually tick up during the period just after Memorial Day, this year's surge is particularly painful to American consumers as surging demand, low inventory, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine have created a perfect storm. And I'm not saying Russia's invasion of Ukraine is going to be, not having anything to do with it, but so many things are happening at once. Aaron Barringer said, if that's the face of pride, it got beat with the ugly stick. Joe Valachi says, look on the bright side, we have nowhere to go. But yeah, exactly. When the Biden campaign starts really ramping into campaign territory and hopefully the gas prices start creating themselves a bit lower, especially, probably it'll happen later this year or maybe even into 2023 once a Republican Congress takes hold and starts repealing some of the honestly, frankly, unconstitutional actions that Joe Biden took to destroy our nation. He's going to be like, yes, we built back better. We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. Let's go for another term. Or honestly, Kamala Harris running for her second term because, well, she's the only one that's going to be capable of doing anything by the time this is over. This is what we're doing, though. We're promoting Pride, the human energy company. People are hurting. People are struggling. And this is what we're doing? No. You have to really question these people. But here it actually gets worse. It does actually get worse, believe it or not. This was in, what was this? A drag queen standing on an eggplant emoji with dancers with bulging parts says, we have that and another thing. To little children in the crowd, I don't even want to play the audio of this. I just want you guys to see what is being promoted right now for the next generation in the midst of this crisis. Let me turn down the audio. I don't want to hear it, but there you can see. I don't even know what this thing is. Painted rainbow. I think this is the LA Pride Parade. I may be wrong, though. But this is what's happening. Find Your Perfect Somewhere is in the background. Well, I don't think this is the perfect for anybody right here. Especially not for children. As they're, and I just noticed this. Let me see if I can turn off the thing so you guys can see it. Right down here. That's Grindr. Now, I only heard about this through TikTok, but that's a gay dating app for meetups. If you guys catch my drift. That's a float at the LA Pride Parade, with these people dancing on them, talking about we have products for you to use. And this is who's in the crowd. These small little girls. Surrounded by all these other people who are celebrating this parade, celebrating their pride. And you wonder why so many people are starting to see past this, see through the mirage and be like, this is a mess. This is gross. Are we going to do something about it? Well, I don't know. Drag Queen also says bandanas and other things. Grand Old Memes posts this meme, spray painting rainbow in the face of the children, and it's some drag queen. I think you guys can clearly see what these people are putting down. You will pay $5 a gallon for gas, $5.60 depending on your car, $5.75 depending on where you are. You will accept the January 6th committee's hearings, which we're going to be talking about very shortly, and you will obey the overlords when they tell you to take your kids to the Pride Parade. That's not me saying it, it's them. We'll be back right after a few messages from our sponsor. See you in a second. Hey freethinkers, Chandler here, and man, covering the news of the day, reading your comments, and containing my laughter sure are tiring, right? I'm sure your day-to-day life leaves you just as, if not more tired than me. So why not elevate your night's sleep, all while supporting a great patriot? Of course, you knew it was coming. It was too good to pass up. MyPillow is your ultimate night's sleep. Pillows, blankets, sheets, mattresses, mattress toppers, pajamas, loungewear. As you can hear by me droning on in the background, the list of MyPillow products is long and varied, and sometimes, dare I say, ridiculous. But it all goes towards an amazing cause, all the while giving you the best night's sleep in the whole wide world. Mike Lindell is an amazing patriot and a man I've met a few times myself. I can tell you, he's just as real in person as he is online. He has an inspiring story of recovering from addiction and is a true warrior. You could tell just by how hard the media comes after him. The best way to stand by Mike Lindell, stand by the patriots who have been canceled, and to stand by your wife or husband who would love to wake up in the morning to a non-cranky mess, go to MyPillow.com and use code CRUMP, that is code CRUMP, for your very own discount today. Now, let's get back to the show. Shout out to MyPillow for being a proud sponsor of the show. Make sure you go to MyPillow.com and use code CRUMP. But just as a quick reminder for those of you who don't quite remember, this is the truth. Trump won. Democrats cheated. This is the meme put out by Donaldo Trump, who was banned off of Twitter for months and has just been allowed back on in a wave of other people who are being brought back onto Twitter. A few of them I know. Very happy to see what's happening over on Twitter, and maybe some good news coming really soon. We might talk about that a little bit more tomorrow at 8 on our show, Crump Live. But I want to highlight this meme for you guys real quick and give you guys a little bit of a background behind this. If you guys don't know, this is the January 6th committee. That's Mr. Benny Thompson, who's the chairman of the January 6th committee. That right there is Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, I believe is this one, and there's Adam Schiff and a few others I can't even name because they're no names, obviously, just looking for something to talk about. But this is the entire committee that is dedicating itself to hunting down those treacherous and terrible conservatives who dared peacefully protest and even be shot. Yes, Ashley Babbitt and others like her who lost their lives or lost their freedoms. It's been a disgusting thing, and they're trying to make it even worse by going after more citizens and civilians who made their voices heard. This is a good meme, though. It really shows you where it stands. But of course, it's not true. Unfortunately, there is a lot of things that you wouldn't expect to be true that are true, including visitor logs to the Biden's White House that show the exact opposite. You guys know on January 6th, there was a massive insurrection and a protest in Washington, D.C., which, one of those is true. The latter. But what you guys don't remember is that on May 19th, 2020, there was a massive insurrection in Washington, D.C. as well, on the White House, where, as Tim Pool has so eloquently put it so many times I have to reiterate it, 150 police officers were injured. They lit fire to St. John's Church in Washington, D.C., and they even attempted to breach the gates and destroy a guard post house in front of the White House, forcing President Trump into a bunker. Well, these same people who are the defund the police activists, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, have been invited to the White House and hosted there for their various events. This is a story posted by The Blaze that I just had to check out. Despite attempting to publicly distance himself and his administration from the defund the police movement, Joe Biden has kept his relationships with some of the most prominent individuals behind the far-left social justice movement. Fox News reported that White House visitor logs revealed several defund the police activists have visited the Biden White House and have met with top aides over the course of the past year, despite the president's insistence that he supports the country's police forces. Anti-police activists appear to have intimate access to the levers of power within the White House. Biden has even promoted leftists sympathetic to the movement to key positions within his administration. Rashad Robinson, the president of the left-wing racial justice group Color of Change, visited the White House during the summer of 2021 to meet with one of the president's top advisors. Robinson is also a celebrator of the birthday of convicted cop killer Assata Shakur. While commemorating Shakur's birthday, Robinson called for leftist organizations to get bolder and louder in their demands for police abolition and their plans for revolution. Sure does remind you of a certain senator, Chuck Schumer, who talked about the exact same thing. Not necessarily plans for revolution, but that Supreme Court Justices Kavanaugh and Gorsuch would feel the wrath of those that stand against the repealing of Roe v. Wade, and then went forward to attempt to kill Kavanaugh in his own home. Sure does ring a little bit true. This administration, these far-left Democrats, all of these people sure seem to be standing for the exact same thing. Color of Change has been one of the most active groups when it comes to advocating for the police to be defunded. In 2021, Color of Change was one of the leading voices behind the unsuccessful attempt to dismantle and replace the Minneapolis Police Department. This attempt was supported by a $500,000 grant from George Soros' Open Society Center. We know that policing doesn't keep us safe, communities do. Policing doesn't lead to thriving communities, investment does, they claim. You know what's so funny about that, though, is that they say policing doesn't keep us safe, but then they say they only want to have police with the guns, because communities can't keep each other safe with guns. That's obviously crazy, right? You know, it gets even crazier, though, because if we dig a little bit deeper into this, I don't even think they believe police should be defending people. That's the funny thing, because in Michigan, a county within Michigan actually will not be able to respond to 911 calls anymore because the gas prices are too dang high. Yes, one more time. Yep. The gas prices are too dang high. I might need to get that as another thing, because apparently us ultra MAGA people are far-right white supremacists, far-right white supremacists, and every time we say the gas is too dang high, well, we're just rejecting the green transition, and we care about guns more than people. I don't even know how that one connects, but anyways, let's jump into this. The Isabella County Sheriff's Office says that it has blown through their fuel budget for the year already. As gas prices continue to skyrocket under the watchful eye of President Joe Biden, police in Michigan say they will no longer be able to respond to all 911 calls because they cannot afford the gas prices. I don't even know what to say. ABC News reported that the sheriffs will only be able to respond to some emergency calls by phone instead of turning up in person. The sheriff told the press that he expects it to be several months before the county receives a new fuel budget.
Gas prices are so high, the Isabella County Sheriff's Office here says they've actually blown through their fuel budget already, so they will respond to some non-emergency calls by phone, try to resolve those issues by phone. Now, the national average for a gallon of gas hovering at just under $5 at $4.97 a gallon.
It's now at 5, by the way.
Gallon right now. Here in Michigan, gas prices have set a record high for 7 consecutive days. And according to AAA, many might be trying to stretch out whatever gas they have. The company says in April, they responded to more than 50,000 out of gas calls. That's a 32% increase from the same period last year. Now, the sheriff here says it will likely be several months before a new fuel budget is passed. Gas prices.
A new fuel budget needs to be passed because even the police departments have to say gas is too dang high. And to Joe Biden and Karine Jean-Pierre and every single person who says this isn't an issue when we just need to make the police department spend $50,000-$60,000 a car and get a new electric fleet, we all say
stop the cap.
One more time.
Stop the cap.
Because we don't have
billions
of dollars to invest in gas. We really don't. We don't even have millions of dollars to invest in gas. These police departments are struggling, and they can't keep people safe. As prices continue to soar, with the national average surging past the $5 mark and up from $2.60 in 2019, nearly or more than doubling since Biden took office. Despite escalating costs at the gas pump, Democrats continue to ignore the situation as they're downplaying the possibility of an impending recession, while simultaneously claiming that it is both out of their hands and at the feet of Russian President Vladimir Putin. One more time.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
I don't know. Miss Millie makes an amazing point, and I'm gonna follow through with it. She says, promote your merch tee that you have about these dang gas prices that are indeed way too high. Well, if you are interested, make sure you go to chandlercrump.com, hit our merchandise store, and check out our brand new shirt, which is really talking about how terrible these gas prices are that even Kyle Rittenhouse himself endorses. In fact, I'll show you. I was wearing the shirt when I met Kyle just a few days ago, and he says it's true. It's true. Here's a look at the shirt, but here's an even better look. I did that. Have you seen that? You've seen that sticker? Come on now. It's terrible. $9.19 for regular, $9.69, and $9.99 for plus and premium, respectively. These aren't true, but I say give it a week. Give it a month, maybe 2 months max, and they might just be. But I don't know. If we ever get to that amount, I truly believe Americans are literally going to be fed up. They will get on their horses, because we all know they couldn't afford to drive, and they'll march themselves up to DC, and they'll be like, get these gas prices low, or we will do what we did in the past. But this isn't the only place where this potentially could happen, or might already be happening. Yes, in Canada, a lady was so fed up with Justin Trudeau and his quote-unquote globalist rule that she actually pulled up on Trudeau and said, you have sold us out to the globalists. Yes. That was a beautiful transition for myself. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one, but you have to hear this. She walked up to him and said, you've sold us out to globalism. What do we do with traitors in Canada, Mr. Trudeau? We used to hang them. You guys have to hear this. You guys have to hear this. And also, for that shirt, if you want to check it out, chandlercrump.com. Make sure you hit it up. But let's hear this.
You've sold us out to globalism.
Okay.
You are not working for Canada. You are working for your globalist partners. I wonder how much they're paying you to betray Canada. What do we do with traitors in Canada, Mr. Trudeau? We used to hang them for treason.
Yep.
Woo-hoo-hoo. I love this lady. Come on, round of applause. Everybody in the chat, if you completely agree with what she just said, please drop a 1 for me. Just a 1 in the chat. You don't even need to say,
Yep.
You don't need to say anything crazy. You just drop a 1. Just drop a 1. Or if you think maybe the lady was out of line, maybe she's crazy, just drop a 2 for me. I don't know, but I think I'm gonna have the chat open. It's gonna take a second, but you're about to see a flood of 1s come through. Because it's true. What she said was 100% true. She should be making
Billions.
for all those facts. You know, she is not capping at all.
Stop the cap.
There's no need to say it, and they're already here. Miss Midley says Fidel Castro Jr. Roxanne Shante says 1. Miss Midley says 1. Woohoo! Dolores Midler says 1. She's also got the. GU says California is seeing 6 to 7 in gas, probably higher for Supreme. I'm gonna check over on Rumble as well, because you guys don't forget we are also always live on Rumble. It doesn't look like Box 7's joining us this afternoon, but it's true. Let me see if my folks over on Getter. Yep, RL Allen says 1. So true. So true. We've got a flood of ones. Somebody saying Brave Lady. I agree. Yeah, David Lopez says Brave Lady. I agree. I agree. We need people that are brave as her, bold as a lion, as some people say it, to get out there and make their voices heard. This is how you do it. Show up at their faces and make it known.
And you're doing that very same thing to us now. We know what you're doing.
And he's calling on the handlers to take the mic from her. I want to know when this happened, where this happened, and most importantly, who this brave lady is. I want to just give her a shout out. I want to give her another round of applause. That's how you do it. Because we have never seen anything as emblematic of the future of America as Canada. Honestly, never. In Canada, they had the truckers' protests for the vaccine mandates and just general dissatisfaction with how things were going in Canada, and it shut down their capital city for 1 week, 2 weeks, I think nearly 3 weeks. They were there for days, dozens of days, until the police had to finally come through and steal their trucks and arrest them and throw them in jail and send them all away and call them hateful racists and things of that nature. Then we started having truckers' protests here in America now. Gas prices are so bad, everything is so bad, we couldn't get quite as many truckers, but it was a major movement. I actually went up to Hagerstown. I shook hands with the truckers. I sold them some of our gas prices shirts, which I'll show you once again, which back then were so much further from reality, but I sold them some of these shirts. They were very happy, sold them Bax Rebel, all that stuff. They were willing to stand with the movement. They were so proud of it. Now I think we're going to see something similar in America, as more and more Canadians are standing up against Trudeau and being like, this is insane. You know what we used to do in Canada? We used to hang traitors. We did that in America too. And I'm sure there's going to be people that are showing up to Biden's face, maybe saying things probably a little bit more carefully, because who knows, they might get disappeared. In fact, I don't know if this lady might get disappeared herself. We know things are very dangerous right now. We have an oppressive regime here in America that is willing to do whatever it can, like the January 6th committee, to shut down everybody involved in standing for freedom. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here in America as we get closer and closer to a boiling point. And it's going to get really bad. It's going to get really bad, especially considering that so many Americans believe Joe Biden wasn't elected in the first place. Now, I'm going to be very careful with talking about this, especially considering we're streaming here on YouTube. But if you want more commentary of the uncensored variety where I don't have to be careful, make sure you're subscribing to me over on Rumble and or Locals, where I speak freely and also post exclusive content. All those links are available in the description below. But you guys may or may not know the major movie 2000 Mules, which gave a lot of information about the 2020 election, which of course was the most free and fair election in American history, the most secure election in American history, obviously. Anybody that says it wasn't is obviously lying to you and is peddling conspiracy theories. But Bill Barr, who was the Attorney General at the time of the election, has had quite a bit to say about it. He says the election was not stolen by fraud, and I haven't seen anything since the election that changes my mind on that, including, he mentions by name, the 2000 Mules movie. Let's take a listen to this.
And I was somewhat demoralized because I thought, boy, if he really believes this stuff, he has, lost contact with he's become detached from reality if he really believes this stuff. On the other hand, when I went into this and would, tell him how crazy some of these allegations were, there was never an indication of interest in what the actual facts were. My opinion then and my opinion now is that the election was not stolen by fraud. And I haven't seen anything since the election that changes my mind on that, including the 2000 Mules movie.
And they laugh about it. They laugh in the face of Americans. But what they don't realize, and yes, I'm including Bill Barr in the they at this point, and that's a real big hit on Trump, who seems to be very keen on hiring some of the worst people possible for some of these cabinet positions. I can't say I don't blame him, and I can't say I expect him to do so much better. I mean, he's an outsider to politics. He's only got the people around him to suggest people like Bill Barr to him, who unfortunately are swamp, and I think we may see things get better, but we are seeing how upset Americans truly are. With more and more Americans, as you can see evidenced by the Biden approval rating, down in the dumps, almost as bad, in fact, actually probably worse than the stock prices dropping, Americans are very upset and sick of Biden, and are starting to believe less and less the big lie of 2020. Not the big lie where the big lie is that the election was stolen, but the big lie that Biden was elected. More Americans are starting to question this, and more Americans are starting to realize it's a big circle, it's a big group, it's a big gang, and we're not in it. And that includes some of the most famous right-wing figures, including longtime Fox News host Sean Hannity, who at the end of the Trump administration urged President Trump to pardon Hunter Biden?
Nope.
Are you serious?
Go, you know the thing.
It's no use! One more time. Pardon Hunter Biden? You've got to be joking. You've got to be joking. A last-minute pardon for Hunter Biden in an attempt to ease the fallout of the Capitol riot, a report now says. Fox News host Sean Hannity suggested Trump pardon Hunter Biden in a bid to smooth things over. The House Select Committee investigating January 6th released text messages on Thursday between Hannity and Kayleigh McEnany, in which the conservative news host discussed the details of his conversation with Trump on January 7th. Hannity and Trump were apparently discussing ways to address the potential fallout in the wake of hundreds of pro-Trump supporters breaching the Capitol in an attempt to overturn the 2020 election, supposedly, including pitching no more stolen election talk and Trump attending the inauguration.
Stop the cap.
Yep.
According to one text message from Hannity, one pitch in particular seemed to pique the former president's interest, issuing a last-minute presidential pardon for Hunter Biden. He was intrigued by the pardon idea. Hannity wrote to McEnany. Hunter Biden's business dealings in Ukraine were at the center of Trump's pressure campaign on the Ukrainian government in 2019, which led to the former president's first impeachment in early 2020. Though he currently faces a federal investigation, Hunter Biden has not been charged and denied any wrongdoing. A source told the Daily Beast that the pardon suggestion wasn't originally Hannity's idea, but he brought it to Trump because he genuinely wanted some healing. Another person familiar with the conversation between Hannity and Trump told the Daily Beast that Hannity proposed that the pardon might help smooth things over, but the idea was ultimately shot down. It died on the vine. Never seriously consider. But what you should seriously consider through all of this is who you trust. Who you trust through all of this. Obviously, Fox News should be at the bottom of that list. I'm not going to take the time to pull the article up. We need to be wrapping things up soon. But they actually very recently were posting a transgender family on their network endorsing it for Pride Month. Talking about a young lady or young boy, I forget, just transgender stuff really confuses me, but it was one person who thought they went from one gender to another gender. And Fox News, of all places, which the left-wing media, mainstream media, and everybody's like, oh, well, they're racist, they're far-right, they're peddling conspiracy theories. Yet they're talking about transgenderism in Pride Month? I'm sorry, I'm trying to connect the dots here, but it's not working.
Nope.
I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. It's not making any sense. How are we going to get anywhere through all this when none of this is making any sense? I know what makes sense, though. Like I said a minute ago, it's a big group, and they're all in it. As Bryson Grace so eloquently put it back in 2020, and a lot of patriots, including myself, got on board with the message, it is patriots versus everybody. Whether that everybody even includes President Trump, who is always talking about pushing that vaccine talk. I know some of y'all are like, I don't know about that. And he's been booed at Trump rallies for pushing that vaccine. It's a big group. We're not in it. It's patriots versus everybody. And that's the message I want to leave you on. Before we wrap up, I do want to remind you guys that this show is, of course, 100% supported by viewers like you. I've been demonetized on YouTube for over a year, so if you want to go around the middleman and support my channel, support my content, make sure you go to donorbox.org/support-Chandler and consider a one-time or even a monthly donation to support our content. All donations go towards creating and supporting my ability for me to bring content to you, make music, go out to events, perform, speak, all that good stuff. If you donate, you can send a message. I read your questions out live on stream and answer them, or any messages you have. You also can proudly join our Hall of Heroes up here, which is our people who have supported our channel, longtime supporters like Mark Cook and Inespo, also short-term supporters who donate just once or twice. All of those are listed right above up there. We also, of course, accept Cash App donations right there as well, which you can access right down in the description or by going to your Cash App and entering that code right there. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's tuned in with us here on all of our different platforms. We were on 2 YouTube channels, Getter, Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, so many. I'm always forgetting, but well over, I think like 8 or 9, somewhere around there, which was great. We had a great time here live. Once again, we'll be back tomorrow at 8 Eastern PM for Crump Live, which is our night show where things are a little bit more chill, a little bit more relaxed, and a whole lot more funny. So if you want to tune in for that, make sure you subscribe here on YouTube or wherever you're watching and never miss out. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter, Truth Social, or Telegram, where I always post before I go live. All that stuff is available in the description. But aside from all that, I'll catch you next time, free thinkers. Don't forget to spread the rise of intelligence. Peace out, and y'all have a great afternoon.
Into the light.